Ouija boards are wooden boards covered with the letters of the alphabet, the numbers 0, 9, and the words yes, no, and goodbye. They also have a wooden pointer or planchette that is supposed to move over the board and spell out messages from the spirit world. Ouija boards have been around for more than 100 years, and they continue to be a popular activity, especially around Halloween. But can we really communicate with the dead through Ouija boards, or are they just a harmless parlor game or a psychological phenomenon? The history of the Ouija board can be traced back to the 19th century, when there was a resurgence of spiritualism, a movement that claimed that the living could communicate with the dead through mediums, seances, and other methods. One of these methods was the use of talking boards, which were similar to Ouija boards but had different names and designs. The first patent for a modern Ouija board was granted in 1891 to Elijah Bond, a businessman who claimed that the board was an invention of his sister-in-law, Helen Peters, a medium who allegedly received the name Ouija from the board itself. The Ouija board soon became a commercial success, as people were fascinated by the possibility of contacting their deceased loved ones or getting answers to their questions from the beyond. The Ouija board also became a source of controversy, as some religious groups denounced it as a tool of the devil, and some skeptics exposed it as a fraud. The Ouija board also became a subject of scientific inquiry, as some researchers tried to explain how it worked and what effects it had on the users. But how does the Ouija board work? Is it really controlled by spirits or by something else? There are three main hypotheses that attempt to answer this question: the paranormal hypothesis, the subconscious hypothesis, and the ideomotor hypothesis. The paranormal hypothesis is the most popular among the believers of the Ouija board. It states that the Ouija board is a genuine medium of communication with the dead, or with other supernatural entities, such as angels, demons, or aliens. According to this hypothesis, the spirits use the energy of the users to move the planchette over the board and convey their messages through the letters and words. The paranormal hypothesis is supported by anecdotal evidence, such as personal testimonies, eerie coincidences, and accurate predictions. However, the paranormal hypothesis lacks scientific evidence and faces many logical and methodological problems, such as the inconsistency, ambiguity, and falsity of the messages, the lack of verification and replication of the results, and the possibility of fraud and deception. The subconscious hypothesis is the most popular among the skeptics of the Ouija board. It states that the Ouija board is a reflection of the user's own subconscious thoughts, feelings, and desires. According to this hypothesis, the users unconsciously move the planchette over the board and project their own expectations and interpretations onto the messages. The subconscious hypothesis is supported by psychological evidence, such as the influence of suggestion, imagination, and memory on the users. However, the subconscious hypothesis also faces some challenges, such as the difficulty of explaining how the users can coordinate their movements without conscious awareness, and how the users can produce messages that are surprising, novel, or unknown to them. The ideomotor hypothesis is the most popular among the scientists of the Ouija board. It states that the Ouija board is a result of the ideomotor effect, a phenomenon that causes people to move objects unconsciously in response to an idea or a stimulus. According to this hypothesis, the users move the planchette over the board without intending or realizing it, due to the subtle cues and signals that they receive from the board, the environment, or the other users. The ideomotor hypothesis is supported by experimental evidence, such as the reduction or elimination of the Ouija board effect when the users are blindfolded, or when the board is rotated or reversed. However, the ideomotor hypothesis also has some limitations, such as the inability to account for the content and meaning of the messages, and the variability and complexity of the factors that influence the users. The Ouija board is a fascinating and controversial object that has captivated and perplexed people for over a century. It has inspired curiosity, fear, and wonder, as well as debate, criticism, and research. It has also raised important questions about the nature of reality, the origin of knowledge, and the limits of science. Can we really communicate with the dead through Ouija boards, or are we just communicating with ourselves or with something else? The answer is not simple, and it may depend on our beliefs, perceptions, and experiences, but one thing is certain: The Ouija board is more than just a board game. It is a window into the unknown and a mirror of ourselves.